Warning, this episode contains pork products, and the concept of eating animals for food. If you eat pork and live in the western United States, it's time to panic buy bacon. Go get some right now. Well, after you watch, like, and share this video. What's going on? Well, basic denial of reality, good old independent thinking, and the fact that immigrants aren't considered real people in the United States has led to the closure of multiple pork processing plants in the North and Midwest of the United States. Smithfield Foods had to close its plant in Sioux Falls, South Dakota earlier this week because of a preventable COVID-19 outbreak. This plant closure has forced the closure of two more of the company's plants in Wisconsin and Missouri that get their materials from the Sioux Falls plant. The Wisconsin plant produces dry sausage and bacon and will be closed for at least 2 weeks, probably longer. So what went wrong? The plant is considered an essential business, which makes some sense. People need to eat during a lockdown, although not necessarily pork. But even as employees were asking for more safety measures and PPE at work, the company was unprepared and slow to respond, and now they are a hotspot of the virus. The initial tip came from the daughter of two employees at the plant on March 25th. Writing into a Facebook tip line for the local newspaper, she asked that they please look into Smithfield. The next day, the newspaper published a piece reporting and confirming with the company that indeed they had had a positive test of an employee and that employee was in quarantine. Their workstation had also been scrubbed clean. A statement by Smithfield said, "Food is an essential part of all of our lives, and we are taking the utmost precautions to ensure the health and well-being of our employees and consumers." Apparently, the plant did install CDC-guided protective measures starting in February. But by early March, according to the president of the local AFL-CIO, union officials approached management to ask for more protective measures like masks and temperature testing at the entrances. What is clear is that the Sioux Falls plant has become an outbreak hotspot with 868 confirmed cases, more than a third of total cases in the state. The workforce at Smithfield's, as well as many food production companies around the United States, is largely staffed with temporary visa-holding workers from countries like Ethiopia, Myanmar, and El Salvador. If those employees were to quit and apply for unemployment, they might be considered public charges, which could render them ineligible for permanent residency under a new rule enacted by the Trump administration last year. The Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act also excludes anyone living in a mixed-status household with an undocumented family member. Their choice is between putting food on the table and going to work and getting exposed. Now, Smithfield does pay a decent wage at around $15 an hour. And recently, they started offering their employees a $500 responsibility bonus if they finish their shifts. But some considered this as a bribe to continue working in unsafe conditions. The outbreak has led to the mayor of Sioux Falls asking the governor for a shelter-in-place order, something the governor of South Dakota has been adamant about not instituting. Let's hear from the governor herself.
I mean, governors are supposed to listen to their people and be pragmatic because you're balancing rights, civil rights, and health.
They are, and I had a real honest conversation with the people in our state. I told them I took an oath to uphold the Constitution of our state, of South Dakota. I took an oath when I was in Congress, obviously, to uphold the Constitution of the United States. I believe in our freedoms and liberties. What I've seen across the country is so many people give up their liberties for just a little bit of security, and they don't have to do that. If a leader will take too much power in a time of crisis, that is how we lose our country. So I've felt like I've had to use every single opportunity to talk about why we slow things down. We make decisions based on science and facts and make sure that we're not letting emotion grab a hold of the situation.
That interview was 2 days ago. And just yesterday, the governor has come up with a plan to be the first state to back clinical trials of hydroxychloroquine to combat COVID-19. But this report from Oxford University from 4 days ago suggests that the drug is not effective even in mild cases of the virus. What the Smithfield case shows us is that not only is our food industry a profits before people enterprise, but that there was no solid plan in place to ensure that food would continue to be available as these plants have now closed. I'm guessing that many other plants around the country that have not taken the appropriate steps will soon find themselves in the same position. So why is your hot dog a communist? I can't think of anything more patriotic than eating a hot dog on the 4th of July. There's even a contest every year to see how many you can shove in your face. Well, it turns out that the hot dog that sponsors this competition, Nathan's Famous, as well as Smithfield's, is owned by Chinese billionaire Wan Long's investment company, WH Group. Wan joined Henan Luohe Meat Products Processing United Factory, then a state-owned entity in 1968, and eventually grew the business into WH Group. In 2013, WH Group purchased Smithfield for $4.7 billion, including debt. The deal valued the company at $7.1 billion, then the largest acquisition of a U.S. company by a Chinese business. Smithfield is now the world's largest pork and hog producer, with branches in Europe, the United States, and China. So if you live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, grab yourself a package or two of Chinese-owned Nathan's Famous hot dogs and grill them up. Share them with your sick and now out-of-work friends. And don't worry about shelter-in-place rules. Just make sure you have plenty of drinks on hand to wash down your hydroxychloroquine tablets. If you enjoy this content, please click the like button and share, and consider subscribing for more videos. Thank you.